Right down the middle. Well, let's call it right down the middle of the fairway, Brian. Now that we got the bird news out of the way, because the big news here in Louisville, Kentucky, this past week, they've had the PGA, the Professional Golfers Association Alliance
Associated.
That'll work. The big tournament, the annual. This is not the Masters. This is the PGA. Who knows what the these rich white are doing with their little piddly ass golf game? But nevertheless, they're having it here. And the eyes of the world, network television, all this bullshit's on Louisville. Hotel rooms are, sky high, obviously, and the locals are fed up, by the way. And this Valhalla Golf Club, course, whatever.
Valhalla is coming.
Valhalla is, you know what? Valhalla is here. It's about not even 5 miles down the road from me, however far it is. And the locals here have apparently already been fed up with the golfing people, because this affects me, and none the least because I'm not going to get on the interstate or go more than 2 miles from the house in the course of the average week anyway, right? But on Thursday morning, I went out to do my weekly errands. Remember I told you last week, I did 5 things in a fucking hour and 15 minutes or whatever in a 4.8 mile round trip. But I'm not going that far, and I'm not going that many places. And in the course of this, I go to the pharmacy where we get Harley's medication done. And the nice lady there, right, I just mentioned casually, well, at least it's not raining today. The conversation started. She says, yeah, maybe they can get finished with the golf quicker. And she apparently, the traffic, because it's the same road, it's just under the interstate overpass, and you go down there and you turn left, and there's this golf facility. So the traffic has been ridiculous in front of their business, and she's rolling her eyes at it. So then I'm driving down to the next place I'm going, a little Paul's Market, and I see the sign on. Now this is a little business area on a pretty busy street in my little town, but it's 3-4 miles at this point from the golf club, right? And a sign in a liquor store parking lot, the LED sign says no PGA parking. And I'm like, what are these fucking people so desperate to see some dipshit play around the golf that they will park at the goddamn, Cox's and walk 4 miles? What the fuck is going on here, right? And then I go to the bank drive-thru, and the nice lady, and they were amazed apparently in the United Kingdom and geographical points around that part of the world to find out that we have drive-thru banking in the United States. Did you hear this, Brian?
Yeah, of course we have drive-thru banking.
But did you hear they were amazed that we do? And that apparently means they don't. And ice machines and drive-thru banking. Please, our friends across pond, get with the fucking program. But anyway, the lady at the bank drive-thru, she is the nicest, friendliest, wouldn't say boo to a goose, as Adrian Street would say, right? Just has wonderful things to say about everybody. And she said, "Are you going to the golf or whatever?" No, I won't be golfing or watching golfing. And she rolled her eyes again, and it's like they've had to run people out of their parking lot. So this was just the local, response to this thing. And then we find out on the news, or I find out, they have parking for the golf tournament at the Valhalla Golf Course out at the fairgrounds. 15 miles away on 2 different interstates and a goddamn zigzag, where people are parking there because that's the biggest parking lot in the goddamn town at the fairgrounds. And they're getting on buses and they're busing that, which means they got to be there, however long till they can get another fucking bus. And it's like a 40-minute drive in daytime traffic, especially with all this going on, to get to this fucking thing, to watch these people play golf. And they had to go to the goddamn fairgrounds from wherever the fuck they might be at. And many of them are from out of town, thank God. But anyway, so this is the prefacing this goddamn fiasco, bunch of who shot John that goes on, what was that, Friday morning? Hell, the days blur now.
Friday morning, correct.
Friday morning, okay. Friday morning at 5 a.m. before it's even light. One of the shuttle buses from the fairgrounds, apparently, I guess they said shuttle bus, runs over and kills one of the security guards outside the golf course. And I don't know whether it still is yet to be determined because that news was overshadowed by about an hour later. But whether the guy walked in front of the bus or ran in front of the bus or whether he was stationary and it was charging block, we don't know. But there is a fatal accident out in front of the goddamn golf course. So by 6 o'clock, and it's still at 6 o'clock, it's still not daylight. What is his name? Scotty? I keep wanting to say Scotty Saber. He worked for me in OVW.
Scotty Scheffler.
Scotty Scheffler, who I personally have come to like over the past day or so, had never heard existed and drew a breath on the face of this planet Earth before. But apparently he's the number one fucking golfer in the world. He has won whatever you have to win to be considered the number one golfer in the world, right? And he's competing in this goddamn tournament. And
he's in the middle of the run too. He's having a great run right now.
Yeah, and he's I think they said at one time he's the favorite. Hopefully by the time that we finish talking, it'll be over and all these people have left town if I mentioned that. But anyway, he is coming in because his tee time, this is a sport. They say he has to stretch and warm up and go out and swing and hit the balls, do whatever they do to warm up, right? So he's coming in at 6 o'clock. He's never been to this fucking place before. Maybe, I don't know, but it's still dark. And now they've got Shelbyville Road, US 60 is the main road that runs past the golf course, and they've got it closed down some kind of way because it's still a crime scene, accident scene, whatever kind of scene they consider. And he's in a marked, he's driving a car, but he's got like a PGA thing on it, right? And he pulls up, sees all these flashlights, all this chaos, traffic's fucking stopped, and he talks to a cop on the scene, and the cop tells him apparently and I've gone through this a million times where you're a wrestler trying to get into a show and the people coming in the arena and you're stopping a cop and he's like, do this and do that and the other thing. And you're, oh, God damn it. What the fuck did he say? But a cop tells him to go this way and do this thing, which he doesn't know what this shit is yet. He doesn't know anybody's got run over. He's just like, what the fuck? They've got extra security. I don't know what they thought. So he does the first thing the cop tells him to do, and he's going to the left to go around whatever the fuck. And suddenly, 50 feet down the road, the other cop has the other idea. And there's another cop apparently saying, stop, but he doesn't register that it's him, or he doesn't realize that this guy is a cop or whatever the fuck, but suddenly he sees somebody. This cop latches himself apparently onto the side of the car. Like, what the fuck? And he's like, oh, shit. I'm sorry, but this is a story that we're getting on the news, and I'm seeing this happening at a goddamn wrestling show over the fucking years, right? And he apparently dragged the cop with him some distance to where the cop had scraped. It was either a scraped knee and a cut wrist or a scraped wrist and a cut knee. And then when he stops the car and he's like, what the, and then the guy pulls him out of the car and they turn him around and fucking handcuff him. And and then a reporter from ESPN obviously with a camera phone, everybody's got one. He's shooting this, and he's following, and old Scotty boy is turned around looking over his shoulder. Please help me.
To ESPN, who was right there on the scene because they were going to the tournament as well. So that was an ESPN reporter who filmed that interaction.
Yes. Please help me. And as the ESPN, they're walking him to the car. The cops are walking Scotty he's doing the perp walk, and the ESPN reporter is following with the phone in this other big. And it's I'm sorry, Louisville Metro Police Department doesn't need any more PR disasters. Over the past 5, they're under a consent decree from the Department of Justice. They've been investigated by the FBI. They've gone through about 3 different chiefs.
Well,
they've shot a number of people, some fatally, some not.
Breonna Taylor.
Well, she was the most famous name, but I don't even have time to get into the sub shootings.
Can I say something?
Yes, go ahead.
I saw an interview with the mayor, I think it was, yesterday morning on ESPN, and he was saying that there's footage from, they think, various cameras, but the cop that actually arrested him, that got dragged apparently,
yes,
no body cam footage.
No, wouldn't you know who won the body camera?
How does that happen?
The one guy. The one guy. And that not only, by the way, we'll get back to the story in a second because I'm still laughing at Scotty and the ESPN guy. Remind me where to start again. But the ruling, the law is now apparently in some way propagated by all the other investigations and fumfers and bumblefucks they've been involved in, is that not only do the cops have to wear body cameras and activate them whenever they begin an official whatever the fuck, but they even have to wear them if they're working the third party, whatever they call it, off duty, but in uniform. And his guy he doesn't have one.
You know,
but
it's
anyway,
it's a big thing right now. I don't know if you know, it's a big, business right now on YouTube. The people who get the videos from the police officers or from the police departments, video that the public's allowed to have access to, and they put it on YouTube, monetize it, and just say, like, here's what happened. Officer Jones suspected this person was drinking. And then you see that actually happened. But all these body cam videos have now flooded YouTube.
Well, this one is going to be of the lost footage. Maybe Sid Caesar or Jackie Gleason will have it in his vault somewhere.
Poor Liv Morgan, the footage of her just got out. The police officers actually went through her stuff, realized who she was, said, I know who she is, and then started reading her journal. In the middle of the body cam. That guy probably should be fired, I would think, but we'll see what happens.
Is that what if she had fucking said something unflattering about a family member or some shit? Would that
they just read it out loud like her career goals, but meanwhile all she did was have, I think, the smell of weed. But whatever, let's get back to Scotty Scheffler.
Let's get back.
Liv
can smell all she wants because Scotty needs help. Please help me to the ESPN guy. He's following with the camera. Another cop, clearly by LMPD, stands in front of the ESPN guy and says he's going to jail right now and there's nothing you can do about it.
Smiling.
And the guy smiling. And the guy says, I'm a reporter. He said, but you need to get over there. And so from a distance, you still see them walking him away. So somehow they took him. So from where that is to downtown to the jail, at that time of the morning, the traffic isn't bad. And if you're in a police car, they'll probably put you over on, fucking letting you cut in. But they had to take him geographically almost 20 miles, book him, process him, fingerprint, photo, whatever they're doing these days. I haven't gone through the procedure in quite some time.
Yeah, they actually said to him, do you want the full experience? And he's like, I don't know what that means.
Well, yeah, he said, I don't know what is that? And they said, well, you get a sandwich. So that was it. They gave him a sandwich and they put him in the cell while they could do whatever which it still has not been. At last I saw, and we're on this. It's a developing story, folks. It's still the weekend. He's still playing. But I don't know in what manner he secured his release, but it was pretty fucking quick. It was quicker than the average guy that would have been brought in.
It was as soon as the mayor called the police commissioner and said, "What the fuck is going on?"
Oh, no, hold on. No, I don't know about that yet. Because wait, hold on. But something happened to where he was warming up. He was doing his stretching in the cell. And he didn't know what time it was, but then he was, wherever he was, they had CNN or news channel of some description. And he said that's when he was able to see the time in the corner of the screen, and he saw his picture. Scotty Scheffler has been arrested. And it's on the national news, and he's stretching in his cell and at least gets the news that they have delayed his teeth, because also it was at that point they still had an active investigation on the hit and run, it hit and run. The bus didn't run anywhere, but the fatality. So they pushed the tee times back. So they got him. This was 6 o'clock in the morning. They hauled him off pretty quick, but they got him 20 miles downtown, booked in a cell for a while, out of the cell some way or another, back out to the fucking golf course by like 9:30. And then I guess they played at 10 or something of that nature. And so, and they were amazed because he was doing very well. I ain't following the golf games.
No, he's number one. He's really good.
But he was doing very well, even for, people doing well, and he just got out of fucking jail and had seen.
Because he's a goody two-shoes, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but he knows this is bullshit. He knows, like, I've never done anything wrong. All of a sudden they're arresting me. This will go away quick. Everyone's embarrassed about it seems.
But no, because that's what I'm about to tell you, at least as of the news that I saw yesterday, and I know it's a weekend, so these things move quickly, but yesterday, at least, the cop went to the hospital. They've still got charges against him, which is one of them is, goddamn. You look it up. Look right now, Google charges against Scotty Scheffler or whatever the fuck, and he's supposedly going to come back to court on like May 20-something. So they're not backing down off of this.
I have an article here as of 3 hours ago from the New York Post. Charges against Scottie Scheffler expected to be dropped after shocking arrest. Jefferson County prosecutors are expected to drop the charges against number one ranked golfer Scottie Scheffler that stem from his Friday morning arrest while trying to enter the Valhalla Golf Club, according to No Laying Up.
What?
Whatever that may be. Let me click on this. It is a Twitter account.
Who is this? This is the New York Post. What is that? Who gives a shit what these hack reporters in New York say? What does the Louisville Courier-Journal have to say? They're right on top of this fucking story.
Well, they're not right on top of the algorithm because they don't even come up in the top news stories, which is pretty pathetic for them. But hold on. Every headline, if you go to news, charges.
They're too busy out. They're too busy out there breaking stories to be worried about publicity.
Yeah, everything this morning is charges expected to be dropped.
Yeah, well, he better never come back here again.
He may never want to come back there again. Jeez.
Well, no, that's another thing.
Either with a PGA.
Apparently, also as a backstory to the backstory of this. The PGA itself was part of an owner, because this is supposedly a spiffy golf course. For people who like that kind of thing, that's the kind of thing those people like, right? And the PGA was part owners of it, but they recently sold their interest. Some local group has ownership of all of it now, and they were, before any of this happened, before they even got to town this week, wonder, well, does that mean we're going to get more PGA tournaments or blah, blah, blah? Are we still in the running? And all of a sudden, they have a fucking fatal accident on their fucking front porch. And they goddamn arrest the number one golfer in the world and throw him in jail in front of the fucking global media universe. Go ahead. We'd love you guys to come back for more.
Well, and also it depends on what route you take to get there. Did you see the video this week? I'm sure you did, of the truck. We talked about it when it happened, the truck going over the bridge.
Well, yes. And not only did they show, and for those of you who haven't seen it, we will try to describe it, but you can also, it's all over social media now, so it's your fault if you hadn't seen it. But just a truck over bridge in Louisville. I'm sure it'll come up. But the unique thing was, it's not like security video of just here was this incident where you see the bridge and there's the two vehicles and oh my gosh. It was actual, the truck is, I guess, these newfangled space age technology ridden trucks and 18-wheelers and delivery vehicles, whatever, have cameras all over the yin yang. And they did a split screen. There was a dash cam looking out the windshield. And then there was another one of the, like you see on Cash Cab, of the driver who's driving down the road with the steering wheel. You can see him on both sides. And so you see the fucking idiot little small car that somehow had thought they were going to do something they couldn't do and swerved into oncoming traffic in front of an 18-wheeler. And it was enough at boom on the edge to flip this 18-wheeler's cab to the immediate left. And instead of continuing going down the bridge, she goes through the fucking side rail. And you can not only see the camera, they go over, and there you see the goddamn river over the hood of the fucking truck. There's the water, but at the same time, you can see the driver who, when the car hits her, go, oh shit, and oh shit goes, ah, just turning to the side and screaming while in a driver's version of a fetal position, I guess. I don't know. And she's hanging there.
Good seatbelt.
If the seatbelt was so good, did you hear this? We've heard all the stories, but the fire department guy. So the fire department does the good stuff around here. The fire department guy, they lowered that rescued her and brought her back up in the goddamn sling and harness and lowered by a cherry picker, whatever the fuck's going on there. If he hadn't accidentally, well, not accidentally, but if he hadn't happened to have had a pocket knife hanging off his belt or in his pocket, he couldn't have got her out of the seatbelt. The fact that he had a knife in his pocket at that moment was the only way he was able to cut her out and get her the fuck out of there. So it was close on a number of, but you see both things happen at the same time. And fuck. And that's one of the newer bridges that they've got. In Louisville, the 2nd Street Bridge is now the only one going over to Indiana, I guess, that doesn't have a toll on it. I haven't been across a fucking Sherman Minton in so long. He was still alive. But the 2nd Street Bridge is the only bridge that doesn't have a toll now. And it was built during the Depression, for fuck's sake. And it's literally 2 lanes each way, but with no shoulder whatsoever. And then there's the rail, right? And you're on it's like a slalom or a bobsled run. And to save the goddamn toll, these giant 18-wheelers are using that and feeding off the 2nd Street Bridge into downtown and clogging up all the downtown city streets. And they're trying to ban the trucks, of which they should. I don't see how one of those trucks can get through almost both of the lanes, much less one of them. So it's insanity. So welcome to Louisville, everybody. This part of the program has been sponsored by the Louisville Tourism Commission.
Promo code JCE.
Actually, no, Arnold Finster said all those things. I'm the guest host today, ladies and gentlemen. Arnold Finster. Hopefully the mayor will get involved here and straighten this stuff out. The mayor owns part of Ohio Valley Wrestling now. Did you know this? You knew this.
No, I didn't realize that. Is that the same guy?
Yeah, yes.
Oh.
Well, no. What same guy is what you're thinking? Who are you thinking?
Well, I just saw the mayor on TV the other day. I didn't realize that's one of the idiots that own OVW.
Yeah, one of the many. There are many of them now, but he apparently is one. He also owns part of some of the big hotel development or whatever. So he actually got money. So the fix is in.
So the fix is in. That's what you're saying.
Well, no, he got money through honest means of some description, and then apparently, like some of these other wealthy people, lost his mind and got some interest in a wrestling company. But that's almost epidemic these days. We might see if there's a vaccination for that.